Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, whatever time it is in your area. Thank you for stopping by for another podcast episode. Today, we're going to talk about why your primary job in your business is to solve problems. Whether you're on the detail, wearing the detailer hat, the marketer hat, the sales rep hat, your main job is just to solve problems. So, as per usual, I have my notes here pulled up on my laptop. I'll reference them and then I will kind of expand on those. So, the main point, the first point I'm gonna start off with is something that I've really taken to heart over the last maybe like 2 3 years, 2 years now, and it's something I talk about quite frequently. Where it's for every one solution, you create five other problems, right? So for every one solution you create, five other problems will come with it. So what I mean by that is, think about like like for instance, I'll give you the exact scenario here. Is that like if you want to hire someone, okay? If you want to hire someone, the problem, like the big project you have to take on is hiring someone, right? Getting a body to work with you in your business, right? Now, the five problems, and five is just like a generic number that I give you. It might be two problems, it might be 10 problems. So I just chose five because it's like a simple number. But for instance, on that, like, okay, let me hire someone. It's okay. So now it's what? Well, what are you gonna pay him? Right? And how do you pay them? Right? Are you gonna set up like an actual like W-2 employee where they need to sign and the proper forms? Who's gonna withhold the taxes for them? Is that gonna be you or like a third party company to do that for you? How are you going to onboard them? How are you gonna train them? It's like now you have to figure out all those other questions to the one thing that you want to solve is I need to hire someone. And then it's like, okay, so how do you train them? Okay, so that in itself will now create five different problems. Well, when do you have the time to train them? What do you train them on? What if they're a slow learner? What if they can't pick up things on the field? How do you keep on training them? Right? So everything that you do just branches off to more problems. So anytime you make a decision, and this is something that I truly do every single time, if I make a decision on something, anything, right? Not maybe, not going to get Chick-fil-A, right? That's pretty standard. But if that's, booking out the schedule or, trying to upload 3 videos in one day, or if that's, buying a new camera or looking at new shops or, you know, doing anything, I know from whatever decision I make, five other problems are going to come from that. So as soon as I make a decision, I'm like, all right, where are the problems at? It could be either an immediate thing, meaning within the next hour or the next week, or it could be a long-term thing within the next month or within the next year, right? So short-term, long-term, five other problems are going to come from this. So with the shop, it's like, okay, so first of all, getting the shop is, people ask me all the time, like, how do you find the shop? Where do you look? It's like, well, for first, there is this website called loopnet.com. It's like the marketplace. I think about like a Facebook marketplace, but for like buildings and offices. So that's where I kind of scout around to find locations. But to get a shop, it's okay, go get a shop. All right, well now go on LoopNet and search for a bunch of places in your area. Then go visit those areas, talk to the people in charge, the landlord, whoever, negotiate, see who allows for what. Not everyone allows car washing. Not everyone allows something automotive, right? And then try to get a favorable lease, right? Is it 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? Put the deposits down, the money. So it's this whole process that you have to go through it. And every time, at every step, you're like, oh, dang, really? Oh, man, really? Oh, this is the problem. Oh, I have to do this. Or I have to do that, right? So it's like, hey, this spot doesn't have a drain. Okay, well, can I get a drain installed? Yeah, that'll be $5,000. It's like, oh, okay, dang, now I have to go get that money, right? And it's like, okay, so it'll be 5,000 to install the drain, plus the first month's security deposit, which is equivalent of first month's rent or last month's rent, plus first month's rent, right? So if your shop is, let's say $2,000 a month, so it's $2,000 plus the security deposit of the equivalent of, let's say, first month's rent. So an additional $2,000. So you have to put $4,000 down before you even move into the shop. And on top of that, plus a $5,000 that you have to pay for the drain to be installed. And again, that's just a number that could differ. There's so many factors that go into this. But let's say it's that, or it's like, okay, hey, the landlord will actually build it for you, but they'll bake that cost into the lease, right? So it's like it's all these things of like it's literally just problem after problem that you'll have to solve, right? You go out and buy the shelves, you go out and buy the cabinets. Okay, well, who's gonna install them? Now you have to pay for that. Now your shop is shrinking because you're putting too much stuff and you're storing too many things now. And it's like it's literally just problem after problem that you'll face. And if you're a business owner, right? Duh, that's I'm assuming that's what you're doing. You are the one so responsible for all of it, right? Yes, of course, you have friends, family members, other detailers that have probably started their own business or do their own thing, or can offer you advice and guidance. Of course, 100%, that would be fantastic. That's exactly what I do with all these podcasts and videos. But even with all that, when you're the one that's signing your name on the dotted line to guarantee on that shop, or to get that loan or that lease on your van, or to quit your day job, or to just work on the weekends on your business, like that's all 100% you though. And one, like, you have to come to terms with, if you want to do this as a business, if you want to go and be this person that has their own business and doesn't have a day job, and can call their own shots. All right, you're gonna call your own shots. And calling your own shots means any problem that comes your way, any obstacle, any hurdle, anything that is impeding on your progress, you are 100% so responsible for every decision that you make and any consequences or problems that come after that. Right? So for every one solution you come up with, there's going to be 5 other problems. There is no ifs and or but. Again, might be 2, might be 1, might be 7. Just know that there's going to be more problems that come along with that. Right? So it's like when people are like, oh, like, I saw someone DM me asking me how big our team is, and I was like, oh, we have a small team of 3 people, right? And he said, oh, it must have been hard to find good working people. I'm like, that is literally one problem of the literally thousands of other, maybe not thousands, but of the hundreds of other problems that you have to solve before you even get there, right? Like if you're worried about, oh, I won't be able to find a team member, it's like, man, there's about 400 other steps you have to do before you even get to that point. And once you get to that point, it's another 100 problems that you have to solve to keep everything running. And I'm not being a downer here. I'm not like trying to, not convince you. I'm trying to just be realistic with you of what it takes to actually run a business, right? And this is 100% like predicated on what your goals are and what your level of like grit and will is to the goals that you want to achieve, right? If your primary goal is to work 4 days out of the week and make $8,000 a month, that's a different set of goals than someone that wants to make $45,000 a month, right? Those are going to be 2 completely different things. Now, some fundamentals are going to be quite the same. Of you need customers, you need to properly sell your services, you need to customer service, customer experience, all that obviously going to be the same. But as far as the level of stress and problems, one can only assume that someone that's doing $45,000 per month is a bit different than someone that wants to make $8,000 a month working 4 days out of the week, right? Because, one requires 10 employees, or let's say eight employees. The other one requires just one person. The $45,000 per month requires, let's say, a 10,000 square foot shop. The $8,000 per month, you can work at your home garage, right? So there's going to be a variation of problems and obstacles, and at the scale that you have to deal with it based on your goals. And don't, whatever goals you want to achieve, they're your goals, right? Don't worry about literally anyone else of like, oh, well, they're making 35,000, I'm just making 7,000. It's like, that's fine. If that's your goal, that is your goal, my man. Like that, like you stick to that, right? And your goals will change over time. Maybe right now you're saying, oh, I just want to make like 8,000 a month, and then you hit that 8,000 a month and you're like, I want to make more now. That's perfectly fine. Or you might say, man, I really want to go after that 20,000. and you're at 6,000 a month, and you're like, no, I'm kind of fine here. This is pretty good. That's fine too. There's nothing wrong with that. It is your goal. It's your life. Things can change. You can have higher goals, bigger goals, and say, you know what, I'm fine down here. Or you can say, I just want to make 8,000 a month, and then you're like, you know what, let's keep on pushing to 15,000. Things are gonna change. Your goals are gonna change. But with that, the bigger the goals, just by default, the natural things that the natural way that things go is you're gonna get more problems. You're gonna get more things that you have to overcome. And depending on how fast you want to move, right? Like if you want to hit 10,000 a month, you can do that in you know 12 months, 24 months. But if you want to do it in 4 months, that's a different level of speed and friction that you have to overcome. Not saying that I've seen someone do that, but I'm just saying, like, if that's your intention and you have the means to do that, well, that's just a different set of problems that you're gonna have to overcome. Um, and you will never not have any problems. Okay, like it's not like, okay, so once I get this figured out, I'm set to go. I could just put my feet on the chair and just lay back and just kind of work. It's never gonna be like that. Again, based on your goals, but even then, even if you're trying to work, make 6,000 a month, it's like you'll always run into problems. You'll always have problems in your business. Like every day, you're gonna be like, all right, what am I fixing today? What's the problem I got to deal with today? What's the thing I got to do, right? And it just like, and not in a bad way. It's just like you are the owner. You're the one steering the ship. Like you have to, make every call, and even the most minute small thing that is just like not a big deal. Like let's say you have to drive a mile down the road to go purchase some gloves for detailing, like, right, like just like some regular nitro gloves. Well, that's you that got to get in your car, drive down for that 1 mile, go purchase them and come back. And it's like, it's just from that small of a decision all the way up to like, okay, let me go sign a 3-year lease and pay $25,000 per month. I'm $25,000 per year in rent to have this shop, right? Like from the smallest little, I'm gonna just drive down a mile to get some gloves, to paying 75,000 for 3 years in total to have this shop. Like all those decisions go through you, all of them, and you'll never not have any problems. Which is, it's in a way, it's like it's a good thing. Like you should always expect problems, right? Because like if you have problems, that means things are happening, right? Things are moving. Because again, there's levels to all of this, because a big problem that you'll have in the beginning is not having customers, right? So that's a problem in itself, and obviously that's not a good problem to have. But you should always be tackling problems. Like you'll never not just be like, oh, yep, no problems today. Like there will always be a problem. So like in the beginning, your main problem, like I said, is you don't have any customers. So your main thing you have to solve is, okay, how do I get customers? As you grow, it's trying to handle all the work that you have, right? So I remember from 2011 to 2014 ish, it's like, all right, I don't have any customers, I'm not making any money. What do I do here, right? And once I started, focusing on SEO, search engine optimization, got my website ranked on the first page of Google, and then I started getting a bunch of calls, emails, inquiries about my services. My schedule started getting booked out, and now I had too much work to do, right? So it went from not having any customers, not making any money, struggling to run my business, to now, oh wow, I have a lot of customers now. I'm getting too many calls, I'm getting too many emails, and I need someone to help me with the work. So then it transfers over to like, okay, so who do I hire? How do I hire? How do I pay them? How many hours do they work? What's the expectations? How do I do this? And that's like, it's just, you're gonna, it's just the natural progress of problems. And as you scale, like I said, like now it's like, if you go from 1 person to 3 people to 7 people, now it's like, okay, well, now how do I manage a team? How do I delegate the responsibilities? How do I make sure that that person is doing the right job to where I don't have to micromanage them? So it's just like, as you progress, you're just gonna keep on getting more and more problems. It is what it is, But I would say like that's, some people, I get a few questions every now and then of like, hey, like how do you, how do you, in a more simple sense, because people ask the questions a little bit different, but just in a simple way, people ask me, how do you do what you do, right? How do you post on YouTube, and how do you have an Instagram account, and then how do you run a detailing business, and then how do you have a small team, and then how do you do this, like, right, they're just like, how do you do all this content and run the business at the same time. And the thing that you know that I basically say is like, you just have that X factor of like wanting to do what you do, right? Like, you could say it's like through the experience at the jobs that I've had, you know, but it's like you just have it. Like, you just want to do that. Like, you're just capable of handling more. And are you able to teach some of this? Of course, like, you can always learn in some fashion, in some way, from someone, whether it's like on the internet or in person, or whatever way it may be. But I think it's like, hey, can you train a Kobe Bryant, right? Not Kobe Bryant himself, but like, can you train someone? Is this what I'm like? Can you train someone to become a Kobe Bryant? Can you train someone to become a LeBron James? Can you train someone to become a James Harden? Can you train someone to become a Kevin Durant? It's like, no, right? They just have this X factor. It's like someone, someone that like can spend just as much time. Better yet, someone can spend twice the time that James Harden does, that Kevin Durant does, that LeBron James did, that Michael Jordan did. They can spend twice the amount in the gym, and they still won't produce the results, and they won't be as good of a player, because it's just like, it's something inherent in the way they play and the way they see the game and the way they've developed. It's like they just have a different mindset. They play at a different level than everyone else, right? Hopefully you know enough about sports to understand, like, these are all superstar players that just like are unmatched in skill. And it's like, they just have it. There's no, as you wanting to be a business owner, it's like, yes, you can watch these motivational videos and read books and listen to this podcast, but it's like, it is either it needs to be in you to keep on, to push forward, or to handle all the stress and the problems, or to get over these times of friction. And again, like, I never boast about how much I work, or like if I work these long hours or long nights, or if I get X amount of sleep. Like, I'm not here to get in a measuring contest with who has it harder, or who works longer, or like, I'm not here to do that, right? Because what I do is what I do for myself, because I want to go after these goals, and I want to hit these targets, and I'm in it for the long run, right? So like, you're not gonna see me on social media saying, oh, hey man, like, today's a 16-hour day, today's an 18-hour day, worked until 4 a.m. today. Because it's like, if you truly want to do something, right? And this is how I see it, right? Like, not that it's wrong, but it's like, when I see people talk about like how long they worked or how many hours they worked, it's like, are you doing this because you truly, genuinely want to build this, and you really want to put in the work? Or does it kind of seem like you want to tell people how much you're working, and you really want to, tell people how hard, yeah, or how long you're working, right? So it's like, it's a little questionable sometimes when I see some people post like that, right? And there's you could be documenting it, that's fine, sure, but it's like, if you genuinely, truly want to build a business, like, you're gonna go through a lot, and you shouldn't care not one bit if anyone else knows, right? And as an example, right, just because, like, just to be transparent, and just to like give you like a first-hand experience, like, today, or let's say technically yesterday, which was Wednesday, I worked at the shop from 12, it's like 12:30 to around 4, right? Or like 4:30. And then we're just gonna do some like lazy, like, not much work, like cleaning up the shop and responding to some emails. And then we worked out from like 5:30 to 7. And then from 7 to 9, I recorded 2 videos. And then when I got back to the apartment, I worked from like around 10:30 or 11 to around 3 a.m. I took a 1 hour nap, so from 3 to 4, somewhere around there. And then I got back to the shop at 5 a.m. Like, that was my total day. So I'm running off of 1 hour sleep right now. But what I'm getting at is, like, this is not the first time I've done this. This is not the second time. This is not the fourth time I've done it. Like, I do this quite often now. But like, do I go and boast about it on social media? Do I say it on every YouTube video? No. Why? Because it's like, it's one of those things where, like, you want to accomplish these goals. You have these tasks you want to complete, and it's like, you'd rather sacrifice comfort for being consistent to your goals, right? So I think at this point I'm just going off on a tangent. But like over the last few months, I've been wanting to be more consistent on YouTube. I've been wanting to post more on Instagram. Like it's like I want to be more consistent. I hate not being consistent. And it's been several times now. We're like, okay, hey, yeah, I'm gonna make a video and post it by tomorrow. And then something gets in the way, and let's go have dinner, or let's just let's watch a movie, or what, I'll come in the morning and do it, and I end up not doing it. And it's like I more hate the feeling of not sticking to what I said I was gonna do, to not being consistent, to not being on the path of progress. I hate that more than like I got 6 hours of sleep or 8 hours of sleep, right? Like I'd rather be uncomfortable but making progress than comfortable and not making progress, because it's so easy, because there's no limelights on you. There's no cameras. Well, today technically there is, just to document this time. But like there's no cameras. There's no one saying, all right, Oscar, come on, man. Time to get up and work. Like there's no one telling you this. It is literally on your own merit, on your own will, of your own grit, that says, oh man, like it'd be real easy to go back to sleep right now. Like just, I worked a long day. It's a long day tomorrow. It's just, if I just sleep 4 hours, or if I sleep 8 hours, that'd be so much better, right? It's so easy to go back to the comfort. It's so easy to say, I don't really need to do that. Let me stay in a bit more. It's so easy to do that, especially when there's no one telling you, yeah, hey, get up, buddy, get up, time to go work. There's no one telling you this. Like it has to be on your own will to say, yeah, okay, I'm gonna get up, right? So same thing with me, like, yeah, I'm gonna sleep 1 hour, and I'm gonna go back to the shop. I'm gonna record this podcast. I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna go get breakfast. I'm gonna edit it, publish it, and then I'm gonna go out to the field. Like that's on my own merit, saying I'm gonna do this, right? Like me alone, no one else, no one's telling me, no one's help, no one's here at my aid. It's like I'm doing this because this is my life. This is, yeah, I want to make sure I'm not running over my time, because then the camera cuts off. Like this is my life. These are my goals. And I said this in a recent YouTube video of like, once you understand that you can create whatever lifestyle you want, you don't want to let that go to waste, right? So it's like, if you can really, like, whatever goals you have in mind, like you can have whatever lifestyle you want. You want to work 4 days a week, go for it. If you want to work, if you want to hit those $35,000 per month, go for it. If you want a small team, go for it. If you want to make X amount of money, go. Like once you truly, genuinely realize that whatever life you want is based on the level of work and activity that you do, you wouldn't stop, right? Like, so like when I'm doing this, like, this is like, I'm completely passionate about what I do. Like, yes, it's hard work. Yes, it's like very, demanding, and requires me to kind of put up with a lot of stress and problems. Like, of course, 100%. But it's like, this is my life. Like, this is what I do. Like, I am privileged to be here to like, to work on my own brand, and to produce my own progress, and to make my own money, and to create the impact that I have on the detailing community. Like I am 100% in control of all of that, right? If I want everyone to make more money, if I want to make more money, if I want to create more opportunity, if I want to make more progress, if I want a bigger shop, if I want to have create my own product line, if I want to surpass these numbers, it's like I am 100% in control of literally every single aspect of that. I am in control. No one else. Like, no one else is telling me to do anything, and it's like I'm capable of producing all that because I want to. So I think it's completely off tangent now of what that main topic of the podcast was. But it's like, I guess I could wrap it up to say, like, of all that I'm saying, it's like it is all on me, right? Every single thing that's gonna happen is on me, good or bad. It all comes down to me, and that's kind of the mentality you need to have, regardless of the scale that you want to grow your business. Like, it's all on you. Every single problem is gonna come through you, good or bad. Consequences or not, it's like it's all on you. So I'll go ahead and wrap it up right here, just to make it's already like 23 minutes. Yeah, I'll go ahead and wrap it up right here. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can check the video description box down below for the ultimate guide to start your detailing business, and a few other links I'll have down there. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, then just check the show notes, as I'll have the same links down there as well. Thank you very much for tuning in to another podcast episode. If you want to send me a DM, this actually helps. It's like, if it helps if you send me a DM of your question, because if it's a question that hasn't been asked, or if it's a unique question, or if it's a question that keeps on getting asked, I'll eventually turn that into some form of content, whether it's a YouTube video, a podcast, or like an email or like an Instagram post or something. So if you have a question or something, or you want to let me know, you want to tell me something, you can send me a DM on Instagram, which is at Detail Groove. I kid you not, I try to read, not try to, I read 100% of the DMs that come to me. Let's say like 90% of them. Let's like 98% of them. I reply to maybe like 5% of them, 10% of them, because I feel bad when I reply to one and then I don't ever get back to that DM because I get flooded with more DMs. And then it's like I replied once and then I never reply again. So I feel kind of bad. But anyways, if you want to send me a DM, you can send it to me at Detail Groove. So, all right. Thank you very much, everybody. I'll talk to everyone on the next one. Bye-bye.